Saturday Night Football in the Big 12 on championship weekend. Presented by Windows, Texas and Kansas State set to have at it. Before we kick, we check in third member of our team, Holly Rowe.
Well, Brad, it's an incredible scene down here, and everything you see down here is built on Bill Snyder's 16 goals for success. Tonight, they'll have to lean heavily on number 11. Don't accept losing. They are trying to rebound after their first loss of the season 2 weeks ago to Baylor. Coach Snyder told us Friday that he thought his team looked a little bit tired. So after the game, they had a bye week. He gave his team Thursday, Friday, and Saturday off. I spoke to some of the players on the field, and they say it was a big deal. The teams were able to go home, refocus with their families, and come back in dialed up.
They won the toss, but deferred, so the kickoff goes to Texas, and they'll come out to the 25-yard line. And with that, we've talked about it pretty much all week. Case McCoy takes over the reins as the starting quarterback. Having some final words there with offensive coordinator Brian Harsin.
You know, Case McCoy, the good news for Texas, he hasn't started a game this season, but he did start some games on the road last year, played very well on the road, and Mac Brown reminded us, you know, he went into Texas A&M last year, late in the year, took care of the football. We were able to win the game. That's what they're counting on him doing tonight.
Jonathan Gray is behind him. Both tight ends, McFarland and Daniels, on the move. They fake the fly sweep, and it's Gray for about a yard, and that's just about it. Darrell Childs made the stop as we take a look at our impact players, brought to you by Avis. Mike Davis wearing number 5 tonight. He's the big play receiver, 17.5 yards a catch. Jonathan Gray, the freshman, they'll lean on him heavily in the backfield. Kenny Vaccaro, the number 2 tackler in the defensive secondary for the Longhorns.
Right away we see a little up-tempo from Texas, taking a page out of the Baylor playbook from 2 weeks ago.
Toss sweep, and Gray's not going anywhere. Kansas State rises up to make the stop. Adam Davis stretched it out, and it'll be third down and long on the opening drive for Texas.
Now Arthur Brown, the heart and soul of the defense of this football team. We talk about Colin Klein being the leader of the offense. Arthur Brown is the same kind of leader on the defense, and he made a nice play there on second down. Third and long, which you want to avoid against this Kansas State defense. That's when they're at their best.
McCoy in the shotgun. Malcolm Brown is there with him. McCoy's first throw down the middle is batted down the middle. Ryan Mueller knocked it down, and it's 3 and out Texas.
Nice play by Mueller because he had a man open. Mike Davis was open on a hook route. It would have been a first down, and Mueller timed his jump, got that left hand on the football. Otherwise, the drive would have been extended for Texas.
Alex King to punt, and look out on the other end. Tremaine Thompson averages 25 yards a punt return. He's going to have to fair catch this one right around the 30-yard line. So that brings out Colin Klein. Sensational numbers all year long until the hiccup a couple of weeks ago in Waco. We'll see if that was indeed a hiccup.
Well, I expected it was. You know, the problem was they weren't able to control the line of scrimmage against Baylor and establish their run. And that's what they live off of. And Colin Klein ended up throwing the ball 50 times in that game. That's not Kansas State's MO. They want to run the ball first and set up their play action pass.
John Hubert is behind him on first down from the 30, and he'll get the call. And Hubert spins his way out for 5, almost 6-yard line. As we take a look at our impact players, brought to you by Avis. Tyler Lockett back. He didn't play in that game a couple of weeks ago, and he makes an impact as a return man and a receiver. Chris Harper, big body, knows how to use it as a wideout. Nigel Malone, one of the top guys, 4 interceptions in the secondary tonight, and he'll have a beat on Case McCoy throughout the night when he puts the ball in the air. Second down and 5 with Klein in the shotgun.
Typically, if number 37 is in the ball game, just follow him. The ball's going behind him.
Braden Wilson, and that's where it goes, and that's where Klein goes. And he's going to be close to, if not at, the first down marker. Going to be half-yard shy.
Wilson is a senior, one of the 27 seniors on this team. Nice lead blocker, 6'4", 256, kind of lines up as a fullback sometimes as a tight end or H-back.
2 tight ends in there right now, and Wilson stays in as well. And an eye backfield on 3rd down and 1. And they'll give it to the fullback, and he's stuffed. Second effort trying to get back, but he only got back to the line of scrimmage. And Peter Jenkins, the outside linebacker, the freshman, makes a great stop.
Peter Jenkins, one of the young linebackers. Boy, they were crowded at the line of scrimmage. They were anticipating run the whole way. Jenkins was right off the line of scrimmage, anticipated the snap count, and got into the backfield to get Wilson.
So that brings out Ryan Dorr to kick. Back-to-back punts. Quandre Diggs stands back on the other end around the 20-yard line for the Longhorns. Dorr high kick. Diggs comes up, makes the catch at around the 24-yard line. 37-yard punt, no return. When we return, Case McCoy, his second effort, coming back out at quarterback for the Longhorns. No score, second possession for the Longhorns. Case McCoy at the controls. Joe Bergeron in along with Robertson, the fullback. He's going to throw, though. The out is intercepted. Pick 6 coming. Nigel Malone, touchdown. Did we mention Nigel Malone was an impact player? 28-yard touchdown.
Nigel Malone was reading the quarterback's eyes the entire time. And Case McCoy has an accurate arm, but not a particularly strong arm. And that ball was in the air too long to be successful.
Anthony Cantelli in for the point after.
Previous play is under further review. Ruling on the field was touchdown.
Well, he walked into the end zone, but did he take the ball with him the whole time? I think that's maybe what they're looking at. We'll take another look at it right here. Ooh. I think he's across the goal line. But they'll have a look.
Yep.
It is a scoring play, and it is a turnover.
Did the ball cross the plane?
Ball's in his right hand. Looks like his body had crossed the plane. I think it had, but we'll see. It was close, really close.
And I'm sure what Bill Snyder's going to tell him is that shouldn't ever be close. Run all the way in and hand the ball to the official, and then come and celebrate on the sideline.
There was one of those in the NFL about a month ago, and it was upheld, but after they looked at it later, they realized it was too late to do anything about it, and the guy that intercepted the ball did not take it all the way to the end zone. First time in a couple of years that Kansas State's had a interception return for a touchdown.
Well, the problem for Texas when they have struggled this year has been turnovers.
Right.
They had 4 turnovers against TCU in their last ball game, and an early turnover here that also goes for a score, we think.
Ooh. I tell you what, every
That's
time
very
you get
close.
a different angle, it looks a little bit different, doesn't it? So Tom Robinson, who's right next to us, as a matter of fact, the replay booth's right next to us.
This was a new rule a few years ago, and they talked about, was this going to be a problem? How much was it going to come up? And it hasn't come up very much. But we might have a ruling here that disappoints this home crowd quite a bit.
You know, from that angle, it doesn't look like he made it, or it doesn't look like the ball made it, does it?
Because I believe if they overturn this, the ball will belong to Texas on the 20-yard line.
Yeah, it's going to be a touchback. So Scott Novak's our referee. We mentioned Tom Robinson's our replay official. Tom was in our trucks before the game. We said hello, and literally they are 12 feet away from us in the booth next door. This one takes a while because it means a lot. Not that they all don't, but now the fans are getting restless. Case McCoy, it would be his second interception that he's thrown this year in limited duty. He's smiling right now because he's hoping that maybe the Longhorns get a break here. And he's over there on the sideline with David Ash, who started the majority of the time this year for Texas.
David Ash had a rib injury in the TCU game and was replaced by McCoy, and they weren't sure if David Ash was even going to be healthy to play this week, so they named McCoy the starter early in the process. As it turned out, Ash got healthy, was able to practice, and is available to play tonight should something happen to Case McCoy.
Well, this one's taken longer than it took for you to eat breakfast, partner, as I watched you.
I would think the length that it's taking would suggest that they're going to overturn this.
If indeed it stands, it's the 5th interception of the year by Malone. It'll be an interception either way, but we'll know if it's a touchdown or not. Touchdown, touchback, big difference. And finally, here's the call.
After review, the runner intercepted the ball and was running towards the goal line. Before he broke the plane of the goal line, he let the ball go. He gave a signal of touchdown on the field, which by rule is an inadvertent signal. By rule, we must put the ball back at the half-yard line. Kansas State will have the ball at the half-yard line, 1st and goal.
All right, well, that one shocked me. So they have the ball at the half-yard line.
And the way that he explained that was the reason that they had to put it on the half-yard line instead of a touchback and on the 20 for Texas is that there was an inadvertent signal of a touchdown.
Mack Brown wants a longer explanation. I don't think he's going to get one.
Because nobody picked up the football. Nobody went and recovered the ball. Nobody did anything with the ball. And Mack Brown wants a clear explanation.
Mack is livid on the sideline. And so Kansas State has got it after the interception. 1st and goal right there. And this is usually Colin Klein time.
What a strange turn of events early in this ball game.
I guess. Klein's got 15 rushing touchdowns this year. He's got 16 rushing touchdowns this year. Well, puts it in the end zone again from a yard out. So it only took one play after the interception and the return. And Cantelli in for the point after. I may have said Colin Klein had 20 rushing touchdowns, or rather 15 rushing touchdowns. That was number 21 on the year. First it was Nigel Malone, who dropped it at the 1. Mack Brown not getting the explanation that he wanted. And then here's rushing touchdown number 21 for Colin Klein. Strange first 3.5 minutes in Manhattan. Kansas State leads 7-0 on Colin Klein's 1-yard touchdown. Cantelli set to kick away. Duke Thomas and DJ Monroe wait back inside the Texas 5. Should be returnable from the 5-yard line as Monroe. Return set up to the left. He's never going to get to the corner, though, as he got out around the 15 or 16-yard line. Well, you had a chance, partner, to go over to our replay official. I said they're 12 feet away. You talked to Tom Robinson during the whole timeout about that strange turn of events on the interception.
Yeah, and I've never seen a situation like this, but a couple things happened. The ball did come out before he crossed the goal line. Now, if that ball would have rolled out of bounds or out of the end zone, the ball would have belonged to Texas as a touchback, first down going the other way. Because it died in the end zone, the ball was going to belong to Kansas State. if there was no inadvertent touchdown signal, it would have been a touchdown for Kansas State.
We may never see that one again, and I hope we don't.
Let me just finish, because there were three scenarios.
All right.
There was an inadvertent signal. Because there was an inadvertent signal, they had to go back to where the ball hit the ground initially and give the ball back to Kansas State.
Wow.
That is an unusual situation.
Pick up a 3 in that last play. 2nd down and 7. Only a yard or so. Arthur Brown. Touchdown, Jonathan Gray.
Now already we're seeing a different looking Kansas State defense. They were passive against the run in Waco 2 weeks ago, and they got shredded for 342 yards of rushing. A much stouter looking defense against the run so far tonight for the Wildcats.
Texas didn't want to get behind the chains, and that's all they've done so far. 3rd down and 6. In a pistol set. McCoy with Malcolm Brown now flanking him on the left side. McCoy got to be careful here. Over the middle, completes it, and it's a 1st down to Malcolm Brown. Out of the backfield. That quiets the crowd momentarily.
Good protection, good patience by Case McCoy. You know, Case has a tendency to want to scramble and be on the move. Showed good patience that time, staying in the pocket and finding his outlet receiver for the underneath throw.
David Ash looks on. McCoy with his first down. There's his numbers over his career. Junior out of Graham, Texas, and I'm sure you know Colt McCoy's younger brother. High snap. He got it down and got it to Gray, and Gray goes down in a hurry. Latui. Big play by Latui off the defensive front.
Yeah, he did a nice job just getting his hands on the blocker. Watch him right here. Just take the center, ride him, and then make the play. Go work down the line, fight off the block of the center, work down the line, and get the tackle behind the line of scrimmage. Again, a much more aggressive front 7 in this ball game than we saw 2 weeks ago.
3 receivers to the top of your screen on 2nd and 13. But Brown will get it on the ground. And it's going to bring up 3rd down and long. Davis in on the stop. Well, they picked up a 3rd and 6. They're going to have to get a 3rd and 10 out of this one. Actually, 3rd and 11. Four wideouts for Case McCoy. Pump fakes. Throws across the middle and throws a dart. Nice throw and catch. Bryant Jackson out there. Got 12 on a 3rd and 11.
This is the thing that Case McCoy, I think, brings to the offense. His ability to buy some time, move a little bit in the pocket, but he doesn't panic. He's got good poise, very much like his older brother Floyd has that savvy.
This one thrown out to Shipley. And much like his brother, the McCoy to Shipley connection out on the far sideline.
See, that's what Baylor did to this Kansas State defense 2 weeks ago. Nick Florence threw 25 first-half passes. 18 of them were balls thrown 5 yards or less. They just throw it out there, hope a guy can break a tackle, make the Kansas State defense run, and it takes those pass rushers, Williams and Davis, a little bit out of the equation by doing that.
So Case McCoy in Texas, they've got something working here. Bergeron now, the tailback. They fake it to him, and McCoy throws complete to the fullback, and Robertson takes it out of bounds with a 1st down as we check in with Holly.
One change for the Longhorns tonight. Their offensive coordinator, Brian Harsin, is down here on the sideline. Normally, he's calling plays up in the press box. Keep in mind, it's the first start of his season for Colt McCoy. It's a loud, hostile environment. The students behind this Texas bench are so loud, guys, so better communication system with Case McCoy in his first start.
All right, Holly, good point. Longhorns in Wildcat territory for the first time at the 48-yard line. Quick pass, complete out to Shipley again. Jackson Shipley. And he picks up 9. Shipley came in as the number 2 receiver to Mike Davis. And now Case McCoy's hit 6 straight passes after that interception. So sometimes you wonder about a guy that hasn't made that many starts, if it's going to affect him or rattle him. As you said, he's a pretty cool customer.
He is. He had that ability to shake that off. He shook the mistake off. He came right back to work, and he's got a nice drive going.
Brown and Bergeron both in the Longhorn backfield. As Holly said, it's pretty loud out there. McCoy throws, completes, flags are down as Davis got to the 30-yard line. And a penalty marker at the line.
This was thrown in from the side, from the line judge, maybe a chop block.
Personal foul. Unnecessary roughness on the offense, number 51. Leg whip. 15-yard penalty. Second down.
Leg whip. Donald Hawkins, the left tackle.
Now that's a costly penalty,
wow,
too, because it's 15 yards. It sets them back again now behind the chains, behind schedule, and it's a momentum killer.
The 25-yard swing. They would have had a first down at the 30-yard line. Now they're back at their own 45.
Now if you're Case McCoy and you're throwing here, you're thinking about just getting part of this yardage back. Try to give yourself a manageable third down.
Gray behind him in the pistol. They fake it that way, throw short. Davis, who caught the last ball, run out of bounds after a pickup of about 5. Midfield, third down, 12, Texas. Blitz coming. McCoy wants to throw a screen, got it out there to Brown. He's not going to get to the sticks, but he did get to the 44-yard line. So Texas at least got some of it back, but still going to have to kick it.
Well, and what you're trying to do right now with your punter is to try to flip the field. Alex King has worked on directional punting a lot this week. Try to knock this out inside the 10-yard line and prevent any kind of a return.
You don't want it in the hands of either one of the guys that are back there. Well, end over end kick. He didn't get nearly enough of that, but maybe it'll take a bounce. A good one, it does. A great bounce. Maybe he knew what he was doing. All the way down to the 1-foot line. That turned out pretty well. Good job, Mr. King. 5:18 remaining first quarter. Colin Klein's got it back when we come back deep in his own territory. Kansas State playing for a BCS berth here. And their tailback just got out of the end zone. John Hubert working from the 1-foot line, and Quandre Diggs almost had a safety.
Yeah, you really don't want to try to bounce too much on a play like this. You want to stick it up in there. Pretty good job forcing him outside. That was Carrington Bynum, that forced him to bounce outside, and Hubert does a nice job getting the ball out.
Ooh.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Colin Klein throw it here. Little play action, get max protection, and try to throw your way out of this situation.
He'll take the snap 5 yards in his own end zone. On 2nd and 10, inside the 1. Line rolling to throw. He might have stepped on the back chalk line. I guess not. He does throw. It's incomplete. That was close. He was tight roping the back of the end zone.
I mean, so tight that he actually looked down to see where his feet were. He took his eyes off of the coverage to look down to see where he was with his feet. And the referee was looking right at it. He did not step out of bounds, but looking down, took his eyes off the defense, and he ended up having to throw it away.
Well, now you got to be careful. It's 3rd down and 10. You got your tailback about a yard from being out of the back of the end zone. And 2 receivers to the near side. Gotta hurry on the play. They just got it off. Klein throws, and he's got it out complete to Tannehill, his tight end, and a flag at the end of the play.
Yeah, they're going to add 15 more for a hit to the head. They almost didn't get this play off. This ball was snapped when the clock was going from 1 to 0. Colin Klein went to go play action. The back went the other way. This looked like a disastrous play to start. And as it turns out, they're going to be out by midfield.
There are fouls against both teams on the play. Pass interference, offense number 85.
Wow.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness on the defense number 4, targeting. Penalties offset. 3rd down.
So we're going back. Trot back to the end zone for a huddle.
Well, 85 was on the outside. Trujillo was on the outside. Here's the offensive pass interference. Both guys pushing each other. They called Trujillo. Wow.
And here's the guy that made the catch, Tannehill, and the hit to the head. So offsetting penalties. It's third down. We'll do it again. 3rd and 10 inside the 1. Angelo Pease flanking Colin Klein now in the end zone. And just 2 wide receivers and both standing in the end zone on the right-hand side. Klein looks that way, has time, and now he goes long down the sideline, and it's caught by Harper. That looked like a jump ball, but he didn't have to jump.
Well, you know, they just called offensive pass interference on Trujillo on the other side. They could have called pass interference on Harper on this side. He pushed off a little bit and then used that big body to go up for a rebound. Watch him push and then get his body in front of the defender.
A 36-yard play, and it's first down at the 37.
Some guys, you just throw it up there and giving them a chance, even if they're not open. That was a good decision by Colin Klein to throw it up there for Harper.
Now Klein with play action, set to throw again, and he's hit as he throws, and the ball just dribbles out to the sideline. That have been Cedric Reed, I think, that got the hit. Or maybe Whaley. It was Chris Whaley. Got a pretty good shot on Klein. They'll bring up 2nd down and 10. This time, extra receivers. Empty backfield. And a 5-receiver group for Klein on 2nd and 10. Scans the field, now trying to run out of trouble, and he's going to be tracked down and dropped at the 35 by Jenkins. The freshman linebacker's made a couple of nice plays already tonight.
Well, and again, similar to last week in the second half, it almost feels a little bit like Kansas State is getting away from their identity a little bit in the early part of this game. They got themselves out from their deep in their own territory, and then they went right into spread-type pass formations and are throwing the football and getting away from their ability to establish the run.
Okafor in his track stance. He's been shaken up since the TCU game, but one of the leading sack artists in the Big 12. Klein on 3rd and long, completes it, and it's Harper again.
He's just such a wide body as a receiver that even if you have him covered, if he gets inside of you, you have no chance. Watch him just body up the defender like a guy boxing out for a rebound, and you can't get around him. I mean, he's a thick receiver, and he catches the ball with his hands away from his body. That's just a tough guy to cover.
234 pounds of muscle. Second big catch on this drive for Harper. And a first down, K-State at the 47. Now they go back to the ground. Haven't gotten much there tonight, but Pease with a decent run. He's going to pick up close to 5.
We talked to Bill Snyder about Chris Harper on Friday, and he just kind of lit up when he was talking about it. He said, you know, this young guy is really starting to get it. I mean, he is just now starting to come into his own as a receiver. Early on in his career, maybe didn't buy into everything that they were trying to do here in terms of how they built their team. Always was athletic, but this year has really blossomed as a wide receiver.
He only had 2 catches against Texas in last year's win, but one of those was a touchdown catch in the final 10 seconds of the first half, and that was really a big boost for the Kansas State offense. Here's the first option pitch of the night to Pease, and cut down. Kelly Vaccaro, nice tackle on the far sideline. So with 1:20 remaining in the quarter, Kansas State up by a touchdown. They're going to have another 3rd down situation here. Manny Diaz, Longhorns defensive coordinator, hoping his team can come up with a stop. Stopping the run has been their biggest problem this year. They've gotten a little better in recent weeks, but at the beginning of the season, that was definitely a problem for them. Klein throws wide open. Jermaine Thompson out of bounds, first down at the 33. And a pickup of 13.
Well, it's a little bit of a pick play. The motion man is the guy who's going to get the football, but the two outside receivers are both coming in. They screen his defender. That's why he's wide open. Defense is called a pick. Offense is called a rub. Same result. First down for Kansas State.
10th play of the drive coming up. Klein's had some big tosses, a couple to Harper, and that one to Thompson to set him up at the Longhorn 33-yard line. Quick throw outside. Harper on the wideout screen, got one block, and then just carried the would-be tackler with him to the sideline, Adrian Phillips.
What a beautiful block by Lockett. Lockett is not a big guy. He's 5'11", 175 pounds, but watch him get the key block. Just stays right on his man, and you got to get the first block for this play to have a chance. Lockett does his job, and then Harper gets yards after the catch.
Including a stiff arm at the end that got him to the 22-yard line. First down, Kansas State leading by a touchdown. They're going to have to wait for the play on the other end of the field as we played a quarter in Manhattan. 7-0 Kansas State. Our presentation of Saturday Night Football presented by Windows 8 will return after this message and a word from our ABC stations. Brett Nessler, Todd Blackledge, and Holly Rowe along with you.
Kansas State with 87 yards in that first quarter, only 121 against Texas last year in the entire ball game. So a much more productive start offensively, and Colin Klein has been pretty hot.
First and 10 at the Longhorn 22 to open the quarter, and the throw is incomplete. Quandre Diggs covering on Chris Harper, about a hand on it. That was it.
Well, Harper again had the inside position, but the ball was thrown too high, and he wasn't able to use that big body because the ball was over his head.
So far, we haven't seen one aimed at Tyler Lockett. Been nursing a little bit of an injury. He's in the slot right now to the top of your screen on 2nd down and 10. Klein has a look to the sideline, and now backpedals into a pistol set with Pease behind him. And on the option, he'll keep it. Nice cut to the inside to get inside the 20. Down around the 17 as his wife Shaylin looks on. Basketball player here at Kansas State, daughter of a good friend of yours.
Yep, Gary Spaney was a great player here. Linebacker. All-American here at Kansas State, played for the Chiefs. Talked to Shaylin today. She's just like a player. She said, this night game's killing me. I've just been going crazy all day. I'm fine once the game starts. It's what leads up to the game that drives me nuts.
3rd down and 5. Klein, plenty of time. Goes to the end zone. Intercepted in the end zone by Adrian Phillips. And he wanted to let that one go a little bit sooner, I think.
Well, he got caught looking at the one side of the formation only. He was looking to his right the whole way. Watch, Collins' eyes are going to be here the whole time. He's not going to see the coverage from the backside. Step underneath it.
He was aiming it for Lockett, and they didn't get enough on it either.
Yep, Phillips undercut it, played the ball nicely.
Phillips' 2nd interception of the season. Had one against TCU in the loss on Thanksgiving night, and now he's got one here tonight on the road.
I think what Colin was signaling right there is I didn't throw it high enough. If I give him a chance and throw it deeper to the end zone, maybe Lockett makes the play.
So now McCoy in the shotgun. And it's a fly sweep on the way around. DJ Johnson. Johnson down the sideline. Can anybody catch him? And the answer's no. Touchdown, Texas. Or did he step out?
I think they're saying he stepped out right around the 10-yard line.
DJ Johnson, a freshman, goes 70 yards to the 10.
Beautiful call by Brian Harsin right after the turnover. I mentioned in the beginning, Texas is Texas, and they have speed you have to account for. And this time, Kansas State very lucky that he stepped out of bounds, or this ball game would have been tied.
Right about there with the heel, and just barely. First and goal, Longhorns at the Kansas State 10-yard line. Jonathan Gray, he's belted in the backfield, a loss of a yard by Meshach Williams. Texas and Mack Brown know right now you got to take every opportunity when you've got a chance like this to make them pay and get a touchdown.
Well, and the problem for Texas recently, they've not been as effective in the red zone as they were earlier. This is their 12th red zone opportunity recently, and they've only had 4 touchdowns in their last 12 opportunities. So a touchdown here is critical.
Jonathan Gray and the Wildcat. High snap, and he gets it to Shipley. And Shipley trying to cut it outside. Got a long way to go and no time to get there. Only got back to the 10, the original line of scrimmage. They'll try to draw up a little dipsy-do there, and it didn't work for him.
Yep. Well, they had 2 plays from the 10-yard line and gained nothing. And it's 3rd down, and there's no harder 3rd down than right here. 3rd down and goal from the 10. You're playing against a short field, so the defense doesn't have to play depth. Very, very difficult to convert this play.
This would be a huge stop for Kansas State's defense if they could just force a field goal. And Mack Brown wants to talk it over. Timeout, Texas.
Timeout, Texas.
Big 3rd and goal
down.
here early in the second quarter. Upcoming. Kansas State by 7. Texas trying to take advantage of that long run by Johnson. 3rd and goal at the 10-yard line.
Keep an eye on MJ McFarland. He's a big tight end up here in the slot. 6'5", big target.
McCoy running out of time. That's the last thing you want to have happen, and there might be a holding call on top of it.
Holding, offense number 75. Penalties decline.
They decline the penalty and take the sack, which is a 10-yard loss. So now the line of scrimmage is at 20, and they bring out the field goal unit.
I think he was looking for McFarland, and had he had a little bit more time, he might have had a shot for the touchdown, but the pocket collapsed on him.
Nick Jordan will try a 37-yard field goal. As you saw, his longest this year, 38 yards.
He did not look too strong in pregame.
He's looking pretty good on that one.
Good.
37-yard kick is good. But a wasted opportunity. Long run by Johnson got him down to the 10-yard line. 1st and goal became 4th and goal at the 20, and they have to settle for 3. 12 minutes remaining in the half. When we come back, guess what's back? Taste of the town, my man. Woo-hoo. That looks good. Varsity Donuts in Aggieville. Busy place. You don't really move that fast after you have the donuts, so trust me. 7-3, 12 minutes remaining in the half. 5-play drive, a little over 2 minutes, and Texas had to settle for a 37-yard field goal. And now Nick Rose to kick off to Tyler Lockett and Tremaine Thompson. Kick to the goal line to Lockett. He is one dangerous return man, but not this time. Doesn't even make it to the 20-yard line. We'll see what Todd ate when we continue with Taste of the Town in a second. Meanwhile, at the 17-yard line, just inside the 18, actually, Kansas State taking over, leading by 4. Klein on the option. He'll keep it. And he's run out at the 20-yard line. Let's take a look at our Pacific Live game summary with 10:33 remaining in the half. Texas minus yardage on the ground right now. And if you look at that 125 yards passing and say, where did all that come from? That little toss from Case McCoy to DJ Johnson was ruled a pass, not a run, that got him down to the 10-yard line. First down, Texas at its own 28. Play action for McCoy. Running out of time. Down he goes. And it's Justin Tuggle.
Really nice effort by Tuggle, not giving up on the play. Excellent coverage downfield because McCoy initially had enough time, tried to leave the pocket, and Tuggle was being blocked but didn't give up on the play and got the sack. Texas has to do a better job on first down to stay out of long yardage third down situations. It's too difficult against this team here in Manhattan to do that.
2nd and 16. They fake it to Gray, bootleg for McCoy. He completes it, but it's just going to be a short gain of 2 or 3 to Jay Johnson.
One of the things that this Kansas State defense has done an excellent job of all season is tackling. They have the fewest number of tackles missed in the Big 12. You catch the ball in front of them and they make sure you get on the ground. And now this is the 6th third down situation for Texas, and 5 of the 6 have been 10 yards or more.
McCoy 10 for 10, starting 0 for 2. But he's going to have to come up with a big one here to pick up a third down, 3rd and 13. And he throws deep middle, and he got it to Shipley. And on 3rd and 13, big play down the middle to Jackson Shipley.
Well, this is kind of surprising that Shipley got turned loose. It wasn't a straight zone or a deep drop zone coverage, but Shipley turned his man around in there. A linebacker, Gerald Childs, and a big completion for the first down.
Pickup of 18. Here's the handoff to Brown, and Malcolm Brown into the secondary. Brown all the way down to the 30. Dante Barnett brought him down, or it would have been a Texas touchdown.
Little counter play out of the I formation. They pull a lineman, they pull the fullback, and Malcolm Brown, who has missed 5 games with a high ankle sprain, gets a big carry in his first game back.
Texas at the 29-yard line of Kansas State with a first down, trailing by only 4 with 8.5 to go in the half. Play fake, toss out, Johnson. Johnson got a little crease, and he picks up about 6 on the play.
Again, that's out of the Baylor playbook. Throw it quick. If he breaks one tackle, he turns a 3-yard pass into a 7-yard gain, and you've got a good second down situation.
2nd down and 4. Texas looking pretty sharp.
Yep.
Empty backfield right now. The tight end Greg Daniels switches sides, and now Jonathan Gray comes back behind McCoy, and he's going to get the carry. Following his blockers to the left side, he's got a first down inside the 15. Maybe the best run of the night for Gray. And they put it just inside the 15-yard line of the Wildcats. Texas is going to huddle here. They've changed tempo quite a bit tonight, but in this case, they're down in the red zone and they want to take advantage.
Well, and again, they've struggled in the red zone. Now they got a funky formation. This is an offensive lineman here.
They throw to the end zone. Shipley's got it. Touchdown, Texas. Wasn't sure that pass was going to get there in time. Shipley waiting on it in the end zone, and the Longhorns have the lead.
See, what they did was they put the tackle out here. So they were trying to hope that Kansas State wouldn't realize that was a tight end and they wouldn't cover him. But they covered him, but they left Shipley open. And a nice job by McCoy getting the ball to Shipley.
Extra point is good. 7-play drive covers 72 yards. And you see Case McCoy with the fist pump. Right between 2 defenders. Shipley waiting on it, gathering it in, and Texas in front. Saturday Night Football presented by Windows 8. And the window of opportunity for Texas was just wide enough from Case McCoy to Shipley in the end zone to put Texas in front. I thought that window was going to close too fast. Longhorns have played well on the road this year. Haven't lost. Now they got the lead. The midway point of the second quarter. Nick Rose to kick. Tyler Lockett waiting on the other end. He didn't even get to the 20-yard line last time, but he's a guy that can take it the distance, and he has several times in his brilliant career. 4 career touchdowns on returns. This one went out of bounds at the 1-yard line. So flags fly and good field position upcoming.
I want to go back to the touchdown because Texas tried to fool Kansas State.
Ball be placed.
This guy right here, McFarland's lined up as a tackle, and they were hoping that they could fool the safety Milo into not realizing that was an eligible receiver. But Milo read it, but now he's in a bind because there's 2 receivers. He was caught in the middle, and Shipley was able to come up with the touchdown.
So now with the ball being kicked out of bounds, Wildcats start at the 35-yard line. John Hubert set up behind Colin Klein. Motion man is Miller, and the give is Hubert, and he broke a tackle, and he got very close to a first down. Here 10-7 Texas on the road, just under 7 minutes remaining in the half. And it was a first down run, and Hubert will try it again, but this time only about a yard. Brandon Moore with number 97 all over him to make the hit.
But I think this is a good strategy by Dana Dimel, calling plays for Colin Klein, is to try to reestablish a presence at the line of scrimmage. Don't put it all on the throwing of Colin Klein. Get your running game going. That's only the 36 yards now rushing for Kansas State, and coming into the game they average over 200 yards a game.
Klein takes his time, comes up to his line. He shifts Hubert to his right on 2nd down and 9. He wants to throw here. Maybe. Klein finally just gets rid of this one over the Texas sideline. Cedric Reed was giving chase. And it brings up 3rd down and 9. And Mac Brown doing a little coaching out there on his freshman linebacker.
Yeah. A little attitude coaching.
So 3rd and long. Empty backfield. Klein's got 5 receivers. From the 46, Texas thinking about a blitz off the corner, and they're going to bring it. Klein in trouble, got away, and now he's got great wheels. Short of a first down, I think, by a yard and a half. And they're going to be short by almost 2. It is 2. Fans don't like the spot.
I think you got to punt the football too, for a couple reasons. It's a smart thing, and I think Colin Klein took a pretty good shot at the end of that run and might be a little bit dizzy right now. Steve Edmond got him right at the end of the run, and I think you're probably smart to let him go and get some rest, get something to drink, and hope that your kicker can flip the field. Again, field position and hidden yardage has been something that has been a big plus for Kansas State all season.
Ryan Dorr to kick. Way up in the air as Diggs calls for a fair catch and has to get out of the way. I think he lost it. And it takes actually a Texas bounce probably just as well that he didn't catch that. And Texas will have it at the 19-yard line with a 3-point lead and 5 minutes exactly remaining in the half. Gives us an opportunity right now for our Aflac trivia question. Texas has played 23 opponents at least 10 times in program history, and they have a losing record against 3 of those teams. Who do you think they are? Well, in this stadium, you might guess that maybe Kansas State's one of them, but I hate to take a guess like that.
Right now for Case McCoy, Brad, you got to think, take care of the football. You're right in position. You're right where you want to be in this football game. Don't do something that incites the crowd of this team.
Jonathan Gray got across the 20 to the 21. You saw that graphic, 13 straight completions for Case, and he's chasing his big brother's record of 18. And Gray comes up limping, and that's not good news for Texas. Their leading rusher.
Well, the only benefit is that you do have Malcolm Brown back this week. He's been gone for 5 weeks. So you have a little depth that you haven't had.
They fake it to him. McCoy on the bootleg. There's 14 in a row and got it to Brown, and Brown got a first down at the 30.
You know, it's worth mentioning also that Jeremy Hills is not here, a senior running back who injured his leg late in the TCU game, and his value was on third down. He was their key third down back, pass protection, very involved in the screen game. He's unable to play tonight.
There he is, number 5, and it is honor Mike Davis, the leading wide receiver for Texas, is wearing number 5, knowing that Hills won't make the field, but he will be on the field. There's Mike himself, a junior wide receiver. Here's the end around. A flip to Johnson. It worked going the other way. It works coming this way. Not for 70 yards, but for a first down at the 45-yard line.
See, again, it's the speed. I mean, Texas has speed. Whether it's Mike Davis, whether it's Najee Johnson, Marquise Goodwin, who's not been able to play tonight, they've got athletes, they've got speed, and if you get them out on the perimeter with a full head of steam behind them, they can make big plays.
Jonathan Gray comes back in, so he's all right. First down, Longhorns, their own 44-yard line, leading by 3 as we're approaching 3 minutes in the half.
Not going to get the playoff. Nope. They either call timeout from the sideline.
Second charge of the first half.
They're down to 1 timeout. Matt called one earlier in this quarter. But with 3:35 remaining in the half, we'll take a timeout with them. Longhorns up 10-7. Back in Manhattan, where Texas has it first and 10 at its own 44-yard line. Gray behind McCoy will get the carry. And he's had a hard time finding some running room. Arthur Brown, the captain of the defense, made the stop. A couple of minutes ago, before the commercial, we asked you the Aflac trivia question. 23 opponents at least 10 times in program history and losing records against 3 teams. You might guess Kansas State's won because they've won 4 straight in the series. Notre Dame playing for the national championship, and Vanderbilt is the other.
Yeah, that's the tricky one.
That's a tricky one.
The one they wouldn't have got.
Vandy's had a great year, though, and they're bowl bound. Second down and 9. McCoy the throw, nice one, complete, first down. Caleb Jones, freshman wideout, and the drive continues. Not a lot of Texas fans here tonight, but they're enjoying what they're seeing right now.
You know, and the fans in purple are pretty quiet because the efficiency of the Texas offense right now.
McCoy, plenty of time, and now throws short to Brown, and Brown is going to be close to another first down.
What Texas has started to be able to do in this ball game is win on first down. They're averaging over 9 yards a play on first down right now, and that is proving big dividends. It's keeping them out of third down situations, and they're moving the chains.
Kansas State trying to change up personnel defensively. Here's a counter to Brown. Woo. Met head on by Childs, the linebacker, and he didn't get the first down. In fact, he barely got back to the original line of scrimmage. Jarrell Childs, a senior, one of the 27 out of Kansas City, stood him up, and it's third down and a yard.
Well, you might be in 2-down territory here if you don't get it if you're Texas. Pretty long for a field goal.
Joe Bergeron sort of been the short yardage guy for Texas. He's in there right now. But it's going to be McCoy, and he's not going to get there either. He lost another half yard. So fourth down. And more than one.
Colt McCoy is just a little light in the britches to be getting that one. He didn't hit it up in there too hard, and good surge up front from Kansas State, particularly Sua and Latui on the inside.
As you said, though, 4-down territory. So fourth down and 1. Bergeron in there, so is the fullback, Robertson. Will they run or throw on fourth down and a long yard? They're going to give him a shot, and he got it. Nice run by Bergeron. He's been their short yardage guy. As we mentioned, he's got 16 touchdowns on the year, and a lot of those were in short yardage situations. This time, not a touchdown, but a big, big first down.
He's got enough speed to make plays on the perimeter also, but he's got a big physical body. He likes to lower that shoulder. Did a nice job of running with leverage there at 230 pounds.
Clock stop with 31 seconds remaining.
Timeout, Texas. Third and final of the first half.
Texas takes its last time out. They want to get at least 3 out of this deal, but they got a long ways to go. They're still at the 31-yard line, and that'll be a long, long kick.
And we saw the guy that has succeeded RG3 at Baylor, Nick Florence, has now led his team to 3 consecutive wins to get the Bears bowl eligible. Boy, he had an outstanding year, too, as a senior, 1 year as the starting quarterback.
Now Texas out of timeouts. They started at their own 19-yard line. This is the 10th play of the Longhorns drive. Case McCoy throws to the outside, complete, tiptoeing out of bounds is Davis. Don't forget Capital One halftime report. John and Jesse will be along with all the day's highlights and scores coming up in 32 seconds.
Well, I have really been impressed with McCoy. I mean, not only his accuracy and his feel for the game, but how he came back after the interception also.
The next pass ties his brother Colt for most consecutive passes completed by a Longhorn. Let's see if he gets it. Pump fakes, and he goes deep. And there's the first incompletion that stops him, and Colt's going, yeah, I didn't want him to get that anyway. So it's going to bring up third down.
Well, I think they need one more completion here. You know, they've got time. They've got 27 seconds. I still think they're a little bit outside of the field goal comfort range.
They've got time to go down the middle. The clock would stop if they get a first down and then spike it.
Shipley is usually the go-to guy in a situation like this.
3rd and 3. McCoy dancing around. Don't want to take a sack, and he throws it all the way over to the first row.
Yep, there's the penalty.
Flags fly in.
He wanted to throw the ball to Shipley. I mean, he was looking there, Shipley on the quick out, and it was well covered.
Intentional grounding on the offense, number 6. Never left the tackle box. Loss of down, spotted pass. 4th down.
So 4th down, and now what was going to be an easier field goal attempt is not going to be.
Yeah.
By rule, Texas has no timeouts left in the first half. That foul requires a 10-second runoff.
So we're going to be down to 11 seconds.
Kansas State has elected to run 10 seconds. Please set the game clock at 11 seconds.
But the field goal unit's got a chance to come out. We told you, Nick Jordan, his longest this year is 38 yards. And this one's going to be considerably longer than that. It's going to be around 51. So, season long, but a chance for 3 more for Jordan.
You got to make sure you get this ball kicked high enough.
And it's a fake. Throwing deep down the middle and incomplete. So they didn't think they had enough leg there. Tried a trick play to just see if maybe they could get something down the field. And it's incomplete. And no more points for Texas with 6 seconds remaining.
Well, pretty good discipline by Kansas State. They came with a rush, but they still weren't fooled down the field. Cedric Reed was the intended receiver.
Well, really no further harm done.
Yep.
As Colin Klein will take a knee here. The first half comes to a close. Texas, though, on the road, leading at halftime. Will that lead hold up, or can Colin Klein and Kansas State bring his team back in his final appearance on this field in the second half? Let's check in with Holly.
Well, Coach, the first possession of the game, your young quarterback in his first start this season throws a pick. How has he responded since then?
I think he's responded really well. We blew an opportunity there. We had an opportunity to get some points, and we needed 3, but we thought we were stretching our field goal kicker and couldn't afford the block. We thought we had a chance at the fake, and they held us up there. But guys are playing hard. It's a great football game.
your Achilles heel this year in defense has been rushing defense, but you've held a very powerful rushing team to just 43 yards in the first half. How?
We've played a lot better against the run the last 5 weeks, and we understand that we've got to make sure that they're one-dimensional, like we said before the game. We can't let them do both.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
So Texas on the road where they've been perfect this year. Another lead as they head to the locker room, up 10-7 over the number 6 team in the country. Third quarter just about set to begin. Texas trying to remain perfect on the road. More importantly, trying to upset Kansas State and spoil their BCS aspirations. Brad Nessler with Todd Blackledge. Holly will join us in a second. As you look at those stats over my right shoulder right now, sense of urgency's got to come to play for Kansas State right now because Texas is playing really well.
Texas is playing very well. You know, we talked about both these teams had very disappointing losses their last time out and kind of derailed what some of their plans were. And I think right now what we saw in the first half, Texas bounced back better than Kansas State did. But the good news for Kansas State, the third quarter has been their best quarter all year. They've outscored their opponents 122-52, and they get the ball to start this third quarter.
So Rose has got it teed up. And again, a guy that'd like to get a little bit of room to work. Tyler Lockett back waiting at the goal line. They kicked it out of bounds last time, trying to keep it out of his hands. This time a much deeper kick, and he hesitates and then takes a knee. As we take a look at our Pacific Life game summary, Colin Klein trying to bounce back from a poor performance in Waco a couple of weeks ago. And he's done a nice job getting it to Harper. Case McCoy, meanwhile, he's hooked up with Shipley on some big plays, including the touchdown in between 2 defenders that has given Texas the 3-point lead they have right now.
Again, I think the difference in the first half, Texas was the more physical football team. They controlled the action at the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball better than Kansas State did, and that's the response I want to see what Kansas State has from a physical standpoint in the third quarter.
Terrell Miller in motion on first down from the 25. Here's a counter to Hubert. Big hold. Hubert, the cutback run. He's got 15, 20, 25, almost 30 yards on the first snap of the third quarter.
Well, I told you, follow 37 and also follow 77. That's where this is going. Counter play, they pull the guard, they pull the fullback, they seal the perimeter. And that's one of the few breakdowns we've seen in the Texas run defense in this ball game, but a great start for the Wildcats.
28-yard pickup to the 47-yard line. And now Braden Wilson, the fullback, is in there, flanking Colin Klein on a 1st and 10 for Kansas State. Opening moments of the third quarter. Now he sets up in a pistol formation behind Klein. And on the option, Klein will keep it. Ooh, and he took a shot. Vaccaro was there, as was Michael Thompson.
Kenny Vaccaro is really an excellent football player. I mean, over the last 7 games, he's averaged 9 tackles a game. He loves the contact. He comes up from his safety position. Colin Klein thinks he's going to turn in and have an alley to run in. And that alley was closed quickly by Vaccaro.
Vaccaro in on 5 tackles tonight. He had 11 last week against TCU. So a pickup of 3. It's 2nd down and 7. Ron Hubert back in there. And timeout. Ooh, boy, that's something you don't want to have to take a minute and a half into the game, but some confusion out there, and Klein will call a timeout. Come to the sideline. Kansas State in Texas territory, trailing by 3 when we come back. 10-7, Texas leading Kansas State as we check in with Holly.
Kansas State Bill Snyder told me at the half what they have to do to improve their rushing offense. He said we've got to get to the edge more, and we've already seen them do it, rushing Colin Klein on that option. They've already doubled their yardage here in the second half with just this one drive. And I also caught a glimpse inside the locker room to see the mood of the players. They were jumping, screaming, and said, it's everything. Leave everything on the field.
It is for the next 2 quarters. A BCS berth on the line. Right now, the number 6 team in the country, trailing number 18 by 3. Klein throws wide open. Tannehill's got it down inside the 15-yard line. I'd say that was a good timeout.
What a beautiful play call. They show run. Tannehill's going to slip back because Klein is going to show it like he's running, and that brings the linebackers up. They have to honor that fake. Tannehill slips behind him. A beautifully designed and executed play off the run fake.
All Colin has to do there is make sure he doesn't cross the line of scrimmage before he lets it go, and it was beautifully done. And now they're in the red zone. Longest pass by Klein tonight, a 29-yarder. Now he'll keep it. On the zone read, and he got inside the 10 and down to the 5.
Well, and just like Holly said, trying to get him to the perimeter. 2 Klein runs. The first run of the half was a Hubert run on the counter. They seal the edge and they get him out here where he can go one-on-one. And I think one of the things that makes that important is I think Kansas State's wide receivers block downfield as well as anybody I've seen this season in college football. That's what makes perimeter runs effective.
36 rushing touchdowns and goal-to-go situations. And it's first and goal right now at the 5. He waits for his blockers, takes it outside, and now trying to cut back inside, and Texas waiting on it. Brandon Moore does a nice job to stay home from his defensive tackle spot. Made the tackle.
Well, they kept the edge of the defense intact. And what that means is you don't lose outside leverage and allow Colin Klein to get outside to the perimeter. You force him to continue to move it back inside where there's extra help and extra defenders. That was well defended.
Actually lost a yard. Second and goal at the 6. John Hubert behind him. 3 receivers for Klein here.
Might look for Harper on the slant. He's up here. If he has single coverage without a safety coming over the top, might try to work the slant.
Got to hurry to get the play off. Klein straight ahead. Got it to the 2. Steve Edmond, the little linebacker, in on another tackle.
This linebacker position has really been pounded this year. They lost their leader inside early. Marco Cobbs they lost last week or in their last game, and they have played a lot of young guys in a very difficult position.
Third down and goal. Hubert behind the fullback. He's going to get the pitch with the fullback in front. He coasts in. Touchdown, Kansas State.
Well, Kenny Vaccaro got a nice hit on Colin Klein again, but not before Colin Klein made the perfect pitch to Hubert. When you run the option, you're exposed and vulnerable as a quarterback, but you still got to make that quality pitch, and that was beautifully done.
75-yard drive for the touchdown. We've got an injured player in the end zone for the Longhorns. So Hubert, his 13th rushing touchdown of the year. Guy that's down is Peter Jenkins, the freshman outside linebacker for Texas, who's played very, very well so far tonight. Let's take another look at the touchdown, Todd.
Kenny Vaccaro is going to be lined up on the outside right here in a sprinter stance, and his job is the quarterback. And he's hoping he can hit Colin Klein right here before he can make the pitch. But Colin Klein is ready to make the quick pitch. Hubert has a lead blocker out in front of him in Braden Wilson. And Kansas State with a nice drive to start the third quarter.
Jenkins is up, going off under his own power.
We've seen Kansas State in this drive attack the perimeter of the Texas defense on about 5 different plays.
Anthony Cantelli, one of the seniors, playing his final game tonight for Kansas State, out for the point after. So the Wildcats open up the third quarter in style. And in 4 minutes and 1 second take the lead. Back from Texas. 14-10, capping a 75-yard drive. John Hubert for the Wildcat touchdown. Well, that last touchdown got the crowd rocking as Kansas State's got the lead back at home, 14-10. Dantelli to kick. Monroe and Thomas back deep for Texas. Monroe from the 1. Got a little crease and flags fly in. Probably going to negate a nice return with an illegal block. Scott Novak, our referee.
During the return, holding receiving team number 31. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Well, the stadium was kind of quiet earlier, as Todd was talking about. And now it's rocking with Texas having to work from its own 10-yard line. The pitch to Jonathan Gray. Nothing doing. Childs in on the stop. It'll be second down and 10.
Oh, again, Case McCoy has played beautifully so far in this ball game. Now the first possession of the third quarter. He was hot. He was accurate. He had the interception early. He bounced back. He's got to take care of the football this whole second half because this Kansas State team has made a living off of turnovers and leading to points off of turnovers. That's been a big part of their success all year.
McCoy looks left, comes back on the screen in the middle, and it's Gray. And he's all the way out to the 40-yard line. Good looking play. A nice job by McCoy, looking left, coming back to the right.
I just like his feel for the game. I mean, Gray's going to slip out. He looks left. He looks left. He allows that rush to come. Nice, accurate pass for Gray to catch. Not worry about making a difficult catch and then get behind those blockers on the screen.
A 30-yard pickup. Excuse me, Todd. First down at the 40. Malcolm Brown in there to give Gray a breather. Those two have been alternating at tailback. And at Brown, and now end around to Jones. Has one blocker in front, cuts back to the middle of the field, and he's got 10, maybe 11.
Good decision. He was going to throw this football. I mean, he obviously is a left-handed thrower because they ran to reverse with him coming back to the left. And watch him gear up like he's going to throw the football, and wisely made a decision to not.
And the officials whistle play to a stop here. I don't see a flag.
The offensive team substituted. Defense was not given an opportunity to match up. We will replay first down.
That's what I thought it was going to be.
Play clock at 25 seconds.
You've got to give the defense an opportunity to get their guys out there. And Texas was going so fast, and it was in the end of our replay.
Yeah. If you don't substitute, you can go as fast as you want. But if you substitute, you have to give the defense time to match that substitution.
And Justin Tuggle's the last guy that runs off the field for the Wildcats. First down, Texas, right at midfield. And again, the end around on the sweep. And on the way, DJ Monroe inside the 10-yard line all the way to the 4.
DJ Monroe, another one of those guys on this team with great speed. They only have a certain number of plays that they use Monroe to run. And it's usually a reverse or a speed sweep like this. Now the corner, Chapman, actually did his job to turn it inside. There was just no help on the inside.
Big run by Monroe. 46 yards down to the 4. First and goal, Texas. Malcolm Brown is the tailback. Daniels, the tight end, in motion. And it's Brown. I think he got a yard maybe with forward progress.
In the loss to TCU, Texas was 1 for 4 scoring touchdowns in the red zone. They're doing better tonight. Another opportunity. You heard Mac Brown at halftime tell Holly, we gave away an opportunity to score some points. You can't do that. When you're the underdog, which Texas rarely is, you got to take advantage of these kind of opportunities.
They shift an extra lineman and a tight end to the right. Second and goal at the 3. That's where they run. And down to the 1 goes Brown. We check in with Holly.
Well, guys, an injury update for Texas. Joe Bergeron, who's the running back that normally used in this kind of situation to batter it in, is out for the game with a shoulder injury. Remember, he had 16 touchdowns coming in. They'll miss him right now in this trip to the red zone.
They sure will. They're down and goal. Inside the 2. Extra lineman again is Pellman.
I think you got to go some kind of a bootleg and give Case McCoy an opportunity to get on the perimeter and make a run-throw decision.
Brown, touchdown. Goes in standing up. Got a nice lead block on that right side by Pellman and the tight end Matthews. And he goes in standing up. 90-yard drive in 7 plays. Wow. Texas really needed that one. Wanted to answer Kansas State, and that's the way to answer. Extra point is good. Well, Texas covered a lot of ground in 3.5 minutes. Most of it, DJ Monroe, 46 yards down to the 4. And then from 2 yards out, Malcolm Brown puts both hands around that football and goes in, and Mac Brown says, we're back in front. So Texas goes back in front by 3. So we take you back to the touchdown.
Well, they didn't have their big back Bergeron in, but they had their big lineup. These are 3 offensive linemen, and then they take this guard and lead up in there with Trey Hopkins and run behind those 4 offensive linemen and a tight end and just power their way into the end zone.
Hey, you're running behind about 1,300 pounds there. Nick Rose to kick. Again, Lockett has not been a threat as a return man so far. Tyler's going to have a shot here from the goal line. Lockett up the middle. Got across the 30. And the kicker got it. And Holly Rose with a special guest.
Well, I'm with one of the most passionate Kansas State fans I think I've met. Eric Stonestreet from Modern Family, known as Cam, is here. And why was it important for you to be at this game tonight?
Well, I come back at any chance I get to support the university and support the team. It's a great atmosphere, and I try to bring as much attention to the university as I can, and I love football.
I hear you over here yelling, pass, run. You're kind of trying to help your defense out a little bit.
Yeah. Well, you know, we're playing good defense. We just need to do what we do, and that's run the ball, in my opinion. But I'm not a football coach.
More in a moment.
Hold on.
On first down from the 33, Colin Klein throws at the very end of a run, or what looked like a run. Tremaine Thompson picks up decent yard. And I think if you took a cross-section of our entire crew, that would be the favorite show of just about everybody on our gang here.
One of the favorites in the Blackledge household, that's for sure.
First down at the 43. Klein on the option. He'll keep it. Colin got across the 45. Close to the, they're going to mark him down at the 46. So Kansas State having to play from behind now for the 3rd time tonight. And we're under 6.5 minutes in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, but they're not behind like the last time we saw them, where the game got really out of reach and the running game all but disappeared. I mean, this game is manageable, and they can continue to try to establish their run game, get Colin Klein out on the perimeter, and throw when they want to and not because they have to.
2nd down, 7. Angelo Pease in the backfield with Klein. And he's going to follow him as a lead blocker, and Klein's got the first down and a bunch more down to the 40-yard line.
Number 7, Colin Klein.
Colin Klein doing what he does best, picks up 14.
See, Angelo Pease is going to be the lead blocker no matter what. I mean, there's a little bit of a fake, like he might get the ball, but he's a lead blocker, and he gets right up onto the linebacker, Edmond, and Colin Klein shows good vision as a runner on that play. When the quarterback is a willing runner, it gives you one extra blocker. You have one more body than the defense has around the line of scrimmage.
Now Klein in the shotgun on first down at the 40. And again, he'll run it. This time only a yard. With 5:15 remaining in the quarter, we get... Wow, Badgers on their way to their third straight Rose Bowl. After some losses in overtime and some other close ones. And it looks like they finally opened things up tonight in Indy. Colin Klein trying to get his team to a BCS Bowl.
Colin Klein last year carried the ball 315 times. Coming into the game tonight, 171 carries, so his numbers are down. But you know what? This is the last game of the year until the bowl. They're going to have about at least 30 to 40 days off. He can afford to take a few extra carries tonight if that's going to give them an advantage and an opportunity to win this game.
There's his season numbers, 846 after having 1141 last year on the ground. Wildcats 4 out of 8 on their third down conversions tonight. Third down and 3 here. And a play fake. Klein wants to throw and does. And it's a strike to the 15 to Tyler Lockett. And boy, running to his left, he put that one right on the money.
When you throw moving to your left, it's essential that you get your shoulders square to the target. He does that. He gets his shoulders all the way around and makes an accurate throw on the bench route to Lockett.
First and 10 at the 15.
The thing that's even more impressive about that, Brad, is he just ran about 3 plays in a row. So you know there's some fatigue, but he still had good mechanics on that big third down throw.
On first down, Miller in motion. And here's a counter. Hubert goes down for a loss. Nice play by Tevin Jackson, the linebacker. Jackson and Jenkins over on that linebacker position have both played well tonight.
And the key for your linebackers against this run offense of Kansas State, because it's different than most other teams in the Big 12, you have to be real solid on your run fits. You can't get out of a gap or miss an assignment, or else it's a big play.
Second down and 11 now at the 16 as we're under 3 minutes in the third. Klein on the option. He'll keep it. Got to the 10 or very close. Jenkins, the other linebacker I just talked about, make the stop. Third down coming up again. Going to be a 3rd and 5 upcoming.
3rd and 5 or 6 in this part of the field. Colin Klein is always a threat to run. Now, when they've gotten in this pistol set, for the most part, it's been an option run tonight.
They got the fullback over on a wing on the left side. And 3 wide receivers. Hubert comes up and now gets on Klein's right hip. And he's the lead man again. And Klein's got it, 1st and goal at the 4.
See, I think that started out to be an option. They changed the play from the line of scrimmage. He moved the back, and now it's a lead draw with the back leading the way for the quarterback. Nice block by Hubert, squared up on the linebacker, and Colin Klein not afraid to stick his nose in there and get the first down.
The 10th play of the drive again, and 1st and goal at the 4. Ball might never leave his hands again on this drive. Who knows? Not going to hear. And he takes a couple of tacklers with him inside the 3. Remember, he scored earlier tonight, his 21st rushing touchdown. He's breathing pretty heavy right now. Let's see if that means somebody else handles the ball or not. They got everybody in tight here. Extra tight end.
Look how deep Hubert is also. Way back here. That close to the goal line.
They're going to toss it to him. Hubert, he's in. Touchdown. He might have been deep, but he could certainly see where he was heading. In a seesaw battle, Kansas State's back in front. And now they can make it a game where Texas needs a touchdown. With the extra point, trying to give them a 4-point lead. And flags fly.
Well, what a difference in the Kansas State.
Offside. Defense number 97. Jumped in the neutral zone, caused the offense to react. Half the distance of the goal. Replay the try.
Yeah, they are going to move it half the distance to the goal. I think Bill Snyder's kind of saying we don't want to get any closer. It takes away the angle for the kicker and makes it kind of too much of a chip shot.
Yardage has been declined.
Okay, they did decline it. That makes more sense. You don't want to mess up an extra point at this stage with 47 seconds left in the most important game of the season. Can't tell him. And I think Texas jumped again. I'm not sure if they stopped the play. The extra point was good.
Offside. Defense number 92. Penalties declined.
Extra point is good. That makes it 21-17. So a 67-yard drive and 11 plays. A lot of it Colin Klein, but at the end, John Hubert. Second touchdown of the night. The Cats' BCS hopes still alive. A lot of the work on that drive was by that young man, Colin Klein. And at the very end, Hubert with his second touchdown on the ground. And Kansas State back in front, and that's a 4-point game. Cantelli to kick. At the goal line, DJ Monroe. And he's not going to make it to the 20 as we check in with Holly Rose.
Well, there's all kind of Heisman promotions that get sent out. In fact, I've still got my mouse pad from Antoine Randall, but this is one of the most clever. This is what Kansas State sent out for Colin Klein. It is a box of Band-Aids, of course, K-State Band-Aids, because he's one of the toughest kids out there. We saw on that drive, he took a lot of hits. Guys, he's already bloody on his arms. I think he'll need these Band-Aids after this game. I talked to his wife, Shaylin, about it. She's like, oh, he's always got nicks on his elbows. His skin is so thin. So it's a good promotion, and his signature trademark, Band-Aids.
Well, the Heisman voting will be done by Monday afternoon. Here's a little toss again to Johnson. This one worked for 70 yards earlier. Not this time. Yard on the play.
Now, I like that Texas is continuing to try those kind of plays because they have speed. They have a handful of players that are faster than most of the guys lined up on the defensive side for Kansas State. So they're trying to prod and pick at that outside perimeter to see if they can break one of those guys loose.
They really haven't got it to Mike Davis much tonight. Their #1 wide receiver. They're not going to get it to anybody here, and the ball is out at the end. McCoy fumbled. I think Texas got back on top of it. Randall Evans made the hit from the secondary, and that could have been a disaster for the Longhorns as the third quarter comes to a close. Well, you can log on to Ford.com/ultimate combo for your chance to win a new 2013 F-150 with EcoBoost. Going to be a big boost in the fourth quarter. That's what we've got left. Saturday Night Football presented by Windows will return after this message and a word from our ABC stations. Has third down and a mile to open up quarter number 4.
Well, Texas is right where they want to be in the game, but I don't think they can afford another turnover. I think this is a good call.
And Gray, not only a good call, but he got it out across the 21-yard line, and that gives the punter an opportunity to try to change the field a little bit.
Now he's going to have to be very careful with this kick. He does not want to kick this to the middle of the field. Alex King, the punter, wants to try to angle this towards the numbers on either side and keep it out of the middle of the field where it would be easily to return.
Jermaine Thompson, the deepest return man. And he's going to run up on this and take it at the 37. Reverses his field. Texas got a hit on him but didn't get him down. Thompson, they finally do land him at the 45-yard line, but it could have been worse.
It was a perfect punt by Alex King. He put it right on the numbers where he needed to. They had him pinned into one side, but they couldn't get him on the ground and allowed him to reverse his field all the way to the other side.
Take a look at our Pacific Life game summary. With Kansas State in front, Colin Klein 202 total yards, including a rushing touchdown. Case McCoy has played very well tonight. But much like last year, Texas has the advantage in yardage, but they're short on the scoreboard right now. 21-17 with 14-14 remaining. Play action. Klein loads. Deep ball. Got a man there. Got him. Lockett. Touchdown. "55-yard touchdown pass. Klein to Lockett."
Brad, that is all because of their ability to run the football in the third quarter. They only had 42 yards rushing in the first half. They had 85 in the third quarter, and that set up the first down play action for a touchdown.
Extra point is good. Kansas State 14 minutes away from a BCS berth. And their Heisman Trophy candidate with his biggest play of the night, going long. And 55 yards later, Tyler Lockett, touchdown, Wildcats. Tyler Lockett on the end of a 55-yard strike. Colin Klein, not Calvin Klein. At least he's not selling men's cologne like Brad Pitt, but he's maybe getting his team a BCS bowl berth with that touchdown pass to go with one on the ground. Cantelli's kick way up at the 10-yard line to Monroe. And Monroe spins his way out to the 24s. Todd takes you back to the touchdown.
Well, I want you to watch two things. Kenny Vaccaro's the leading tackler. He's going to get nosy and come up here to make a hit. And when Lockett runs the post pattern, Colin Klein throws the ball out here in front of him instead of over his head, so the receiver can run to the ball. Vaccaro comes up to make a hit, and watch the throw. It's perfectly placed away from the defender. Let Lockett separate from the defender and run to the football. Beautiful first down call for Kansas State.
And now the pressure very much on Case McCoy. And flags fly in on first down. And it's a false start, and Texas is making it harder on themselves.
False start on the offense. Number 81. 5-yard penalty. First down.
One of the things that has been a secret to Kansas State's success, and it's playing out again tonight all year, is in hidden yardage. Their average starting field position tonight has been their own 35, and Texas has been starting on their own 20. That's a difference of 15 yards, and that's what they've averaged the whole season. And a lot of that is from their special teams and not being penalized.
Jonathan Gray, nice run, picked up 7, got back across the original line of scrimmage, and a couple more.
Just to follow up on that point about their special teams, coming into the game tonight, they haven't had a big-time return, but they came into the game tonight leading the nation in both kickoff return and punt return, and that just adds yardage, hidden yardage, that helps win football games.
There you look at those stats. Second down and 8. Play action. McCoy. Deep. Shipley had his hands on it but couldn't hold it. Randall Evans was covering. And we got a Kansas State player down.
I thought Randall Evans had his hands on Shipley. Shipley got his hands on the ball.
Meshach Williams is the injured Wildcat. Their leading pass rusher.
Texas is playing without their leading pass rusher tonight, and Alex Okafor. He and Williams, two of the top pass rushers in the league.
See when the follow through And the left shoulder, it looks like, might be the problem. Left arm, anyway. He came in leading their team in tackles for loss and had 8.5 sacks. Okafor, I think he was in for about 2 snaps. That's about it. Now the chant of Meshack Williams, one of the seniors out of Sylvester, Georgia.
Well, this defense has 9 senior starters, and all of them were transfers. Arthur Brown, all 9. He transferred from Miami of Florida. The other guys, all junior college transfers. A very big part of Bill Snyder's success in both of his stops here at Kansas State, utilizing junior college transfers that fit his program. A very veteran, leadership-laden team, particularly on defense.
Texas, big 3rd down for them if they're to get back in the game. 3rd down and 8. Empty backfield for Case McCoy. Throws, and what a throw to Shipley, and a 1st down.
He threw this ball right past Jarrell Childs' ear. I mean, Jarrell Childs, number 26, is there.
On the defense, number 44. Contact to the quarterback's helmet. 15 yards will be added to the end of the play.
Oh, big play at the end, too, in the backfield. So a big gainer for Texas.
Yeah, that was a beautiful throw. Under duress, obviously, by Case McCoy.
You know, how weird is it that it used to be Colt McCoy to Jordan Shipley, and now it's Case McCoy to Jackson Shipley.
That's really weird.
It's something else. Colt and Jordan both in the National Football League. And their little brothers have been connecting here tonight. That's the first penalty on Kansas State tonight for the late hit on the quarterback. Gives Texas a 1st down at the 40. Pickup of 3 or 4. Jonathan Gray, Adam Davis made the hit. Here's a previous play after the release, and it's to the head.
Yep. Ryan Mueller. Wasn't so much that it was late, it's just where the hit landed.
Quick throw. This one's incomplete. A 1-hopper to Shipley.
Probably better that it was incomplete. They would have lost yardage on the catch because Shipley was going to the ground when he went for the football.
So now 3rd down again.
3rd down, and they're not in field goal range right now. So it might be 2-down territory potentially for Brian Harsin and the offense.
I don't know what Kansas State has done with Mike Davis tonight, but he's been a non-factor. He's at the bottom of the screen, the Longhorn wide receiver who came in as their leading receiver. And now flags are down, and Mueller drops McCoy again, and that's going to cause some of the offensive linemen to take note.
You know what happened? The line judge threw his flag because there was movement by the left tackle, and then he wanted to call a penalty on the roughing the quarterback, and he didn't have a flag, so he threw his hat.
There's fouls against both teams on the play. False start on the offense, number 51. Personal foul, unnecessary roughness on the defense, number 44. We're enforced both fouls. 1st down.
So here's the movement. This is the first penalty. Got a little head start on his drop step. And then the second penalty, the play's dead. It's over. A little bit of an acting job by Case McCoy.
And interesting, you don't see this very often. Both penalties were walked off. 5 yards that way, 15 that way. 1st down, Texas.
Texas definitely the beneficiary there.
Yep.
Because it was a 3rd down situation. That's 2 penalties on this drive, both by Mueller. The only 2 penalties of the game for Kansas State.
So 1st down at the 27 for the Longhorns. They fake the fly sweep, go straight ahead with a run, and it's a good one by Malcolm Brown as he got 7. Let's take a look at tonight's UPS efficiency update. Case McCoy, pretty good night. 20 out of 23, hit 17 in a row, 1 shy of his brother Colt's Texas record. And he wants to keep this drive alive. Texas needs a touchdown. And they would probably go for 2 if they get one, but that's still 20 yards away. McCoy wants to throw a screen back the other way and does. Malcolm Brown cut down, but he got a first down around the 17-yard line.
You know, the thing that Case McCoy has done really well tonight is not force anything. I mean, he has taken some throws downfield when they've been there. He's made some tough throws on third down, but he's taken the easy throws too, and that's why he's completed such a high number of passes tonight.
Meshach Williams is back in there, by the way, and he's kind of winding up that arm. Probably a stinger maybe, but he wants to be out there trying to stop this Texas drive. First down just inside the 17. Another end around drop ball. Kansas State has got it, I think. Nigel Malone.
Well, you know what? Somebody came in there late at the end of the play and knocked the ball away from Malone. Marquise Goodwin, who had a thumb injury, never handles this cleanly. Now Malone's going to have the ball, and late at the end, there's the hit, and the ball was taken. Goodwin actually took the ball away. I'll tell you what, that's a pretty heads-up play by Goodwin. After he bobbled the handoff, he gets on the football and saves the drive.
Huge loss, though. Second down at 21. Empty backfield for McCoy. Looking right all the way. Great form tackle on DJ Johnson by Randall Evans. And again, the time the way it is, it's going to be under 10 minutes, even though it's third down and a whole bunch. Will Mack be thinking field goal or two-down territory here? A field goal gets him within a touchdown and a two-point conversion.
Yeah, you got to score twice. So I think at this point, you call a safe play here and know you want to score at least 3.
Remember, they don't have exactly a long-range field goal kicker, though. 3rd and 16. They're going to throw a slip screen, tried to get it to Davis, and Mueller, who's had all kinds of trouble, excuse me, on this drive, knocks it down. It's Mike Davis again. Doesn't have his name on his jersey because he's wearing number 5 instead of number 1 tonight. So here's your field goal kicker. A 40-yard attempt. 38's the best he's done this year. Had one from 37 earlier. Nick Jordan, big kick. They have to have it. They didn't get it. And there's the problem. Chance to make it a one-point or one-possession game. And that attempt goes wide right. And here it's Colin Klein and company taking over with 9.5 minutes to go after the missed field goal. And he faked the throw and then did throw. That's over the line of scrimmage, but he's out of bounds.
Yeah, there's the penalty for being over the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, he was 4 yards almost over the line of scrimmage when he threw that one.
Legal forward pass on the offense, number 7. 5-yard penalty from the spot of the pass. Loss of down. Second down.
They've had a little success with this. They did it over the middle for a big play, and this is the second time they tried to throw it outside after the option. Just Colin got a little greedy on that one. Just take the 3-yard gain and play second down.
If he would have thrown it when he first pump faked it, it would have been maybe okay. But after he pulled it down, no such luck. Texas, a missed field goal and a punt to go with their touchdown. 3 touchdowns for Kansas State in the second half. And that's why they've got an 11-point lead. And in control right now. Klein is rushed for 73 yards and a touchdown, thrown for a 184 and a score. And here he keeps it and loses a yard. The touchdown early in the game, as we talked about, his 21st rushing touchdown of the year. And he's also thrown a touchdown, and he's the first quarterback with multiple seasons of 10 or more touchdown passes and 20 or more touchdowns rushing. That's incredible.
It really is. I mean, you stop and think about it, and there were only 3 guys that had ever done it in 1 year, and all 3 of those guys won the Heisman Trophy. Tim Tebow, Cam Newton, and Eric Crouch.
2 weeks ago, this guy was definitely the leader heading into the clubhouse in the Heisman balloting. And since then, one bad game against Baylor 2 weeks ago. And from that point on, Johnny Manziel became the hot name.
Timeout, Kansas State.
And the timeout in there before the clock expired. Take a look at what Collins done tonight. The leader, undisputed leader of this Kansas State team. Senior night, one of 27 seniors here playing their final game. Then he goes to work. This was the long touchdown pass to Lockett, 55-yarder. That along with the 1-yard touchdown run after the interception early in the game.
Well, they're going backwards on this drive, but he's been going forward all year. I mean, he's averaged over 300 yards a game total offense and has accounted for almost 68% of his team's offense every game this year.
That's huge. When you start to think about where Kansas State would be without him, you really wonder if they would be 10-1 heading toward 11-1. Manti-Te'o, I think you can say the same thing for the Notre Dame linebacker. I got a feeling they'd have lost a couple of games somewhere without him. Here's Klein. They're using up some clock right now, at least.
They're using up clock, but that was probably the worst offensive possession that they've had tonight. And credit Texas. I mean, they are still in this ball game. They missed the field goal that could have made it a one-score game, but they stand to get good field position to start this offensive possession after the punt.
Okafor might not have been in very often tonight, but he's made a difference on a couple of plays. Texas came after the kick again. And the ball is out. Muff punt at the end. Still loose. And it's Kansas State, I think, at the very end, but let's see. No signal yet. Wildcat ball.
Brad, Mack Brown against Bill Snyder is 2-4. And in those 6 games, Texas had 20 turnovers compared to only 6 for Kansas State. That's their second turnover tonight against 1 for Kansas State. A very telling statistic in any football game, but particularly when these two teams have played.
I think it was Drew Little who finally got his body around that ball and held on for dear life. And now Kansas State's got it at the Texas 39. Back to Hubert, who's got a couple of touchdown runs tonight. Stood up by Desmond Jackson after a pickup of 3 as we check in with Holly.
Well, guys, you saw how difficult it was to come up with that loose football on that last play. You can see hanging over the stadium, there's this very unique mist. It's like a little foggy, misty. It's making everything out here wet, like the benches on the equipment truck. Everything is a little wet to the touch, and it looks like it's affecting the field and the football as well.
Kansas State, second down at 7. Time's becoming a big-time factor if you're a Longhorn fan. Trailing by 11 points. Again, that's Terrell Miller in motion. They'll just keep it on the ground here to Hubert. Does a little dance. Gets a first down. Vaccaro made another tackle, but not before John Hubert gets a first down.
Hubert's got some fresh legs. Hasn't had to carry it a lot tonight. Nice job stutter stepping in the hole and cutting it back inside for the first down.
And we work our way under 7 minutes to go. "58 yards on 10 carries for Hubert, including 2 big touchdowns. At the 28-yard line. Here's a little counter. Hubert again pops through, but Vaccaro made another tackle. Vaccaro double digits in tackles right now. Brad Nessler, Todd Blackledge, Holly Rowe. We got 6 minutes remaining in Manhattan, 6 minutes away for the Wildcats going to the Fiesta Bowl.
Brad, Texas is really starting to gamble now. They got everybody around the line of scrimmage. Kenny Vaccaro, the safety's coming up fast.
They still can't control Hubert from getting 2 or 3 yards. Diggs ran him out of bounds.
I'm not sure Kansas State will throw But even if they don't, the way Texas is playing up close to the line of scrimmage, if you break a run through the first level of defense, you might break it all the way to the end zone.
There's what the fans are spelling out. They don't have enough bodies over there for Tostitos, but they got the Fiesta thing down. 3rd down and a long 5.
Now, if they get man-to-man coverage, they like slants outside to Harper, the big inside receiver.
Everybody up on top. Texas looks a little confused on guarding those guys. Now they get in position, and Klein taking off the other way. Colin Klein out of bounds, 1st and goal.
Well, again, you're up close to the line of scrimmage. You're committing. Colin Klein's just going to take off on this. A design quarterback draw. He's got Hubert as a lead blocker. And that was just a big hole that opened up on the right side. Easy run for Klein.
And now he's got those kind of numbers we saw earlier in the year, Todd. 21 carries, 92 yards, and a touchdown.
I think that week off did him as much good as anybody.
Now they're down close, where it's usually his time to carry. Just outside the 5-yard line. And he will. Backpedals inside the 3.
Well, you want to score. You want to use as much clock as you can. You score here, you're pretty much going to seal this one. And keep working the clock.
And got a timeout with a man down, Tevin Jackson. And Klein will come over to talk things over on the sideline.
Impressed with how Colin Klein and how Kansas State as a team has responded in the second half. Was not a real productive first half. They only ran 25 plays in the first half. Didn't have much of a running game to speak of. And they came out here in the 3rd quarter and established their running game, and in the second half took control of the football game.
And again, Tevin Jackson, the sophomore linebacker out of Garland, Texas, the man down for the Longhorns. He's had a good game along with Peter Jenkins sharing that outside linebacker spot.
Texas is a young football team, Brad. I mean, they're going to be good. They only have 9 scholarship seniors as compared to 27 on the Kansas State team, seniors. They played more true freshmen. They and TCU were tied for playing the most this year with 16. I mean, a lot of underclassmen. Mac Brown's got a talented young football team.
There's the other teams in the top 5 as far as using freshmen. LSU, Ohio State, and Maryland. So now Kansas State huddled on the sideline as a team. And as they come out, it's 2nd down and goal. At the 3-yard line, just inside the 3.
Last time they got in this deep formation with Hubert, it was a toss to the right side, running right behind Brayton Wilson.
Jalen Klein looking on as her husband will take the snap here on 2nd down and goal. They move the tight end. And there's the same toss that Todd's talking about, and not quite the same result. Got to the 2-foot line, maybe. Kendall Thompson stood him up. The Longhorns are not giving in without a fight. It's just inside the 1-yard line. And now this really may be number 7's time. Klein will come up under center. Let's see if anybody else even touches it other than him. They will. Same toss. And Hubert walks in. Touchdown. Wildcats. Hubert's 3rd touchdown of the night. And now, just a matter of time before the Wildcats know that they're Big 12 champions and going to the Fiesta Bowl.
Man, the same play, Brad. I mean, they just came right back with it on the next down and said, you know what, we didn't get it in that time. Let's execute a little crisper, and we'll get it in on the third down. And they did.
And a chance in the crowd here are We Own Texas, because they're on their way to their 5th straight win over the Longhorns. 3:11 remaining in the ball game. Hubert from a yard out. And the quarterback's wife, Shaylin, says, that's what I'm talking about.
Well, if at first you don't succeed, try again. Now watch the block of these two guys. Wilson's going to come and get a block on the edge. They're going to pull Stuyvesant, the guard, and he gets a block. 2 physical, pounding blocks right at the point of attack, and Hubert walks into the end zone. Same play 2 times in a row. The second time it worked to perfection.
Hubert with those 3 rushing touchdowns, 15 on the year for him. DJ Monroe drops it at the 5, picks it up and goes down at the 9. Roman Fields on the special teams. They're 3 minutes and 6 seconds away from their BCS berth. McCoy, nice throw to Bryant Jackson. And Jackson's all the way across the 40-yard line. Case McCoy is going to have some incredible numbers when this game's over, but it's going to be in a losing effort.
He has really thrown the ball extremely well.
This one's going the other way for a touchdown, maybe. McCoy knocks down Chapman, or he would have scored.
Well, we saw it early with Nigel Malone, and now we see it late with the other corner, Alan Chapman. The same kind of read. The cornerback playing zone coverage, which means instead of having his eyes on the receiver, his eyes are on the quarterback. And he read the route, he read the drop, and he made a great jump on the football. He makes a break before the receiver even gets out of his. We saw it on one side, and now we've seen it on the other side. And Kansas State is about to jump and run away with it.
Klein under center. First down at the 10-yard line. And it's Pease spinning his way for about a yard. McCoy, 2 interceptions. Returned nearly for touchdowns. He saved a touchdown with a tackle on the last one. Well, all the folks that are Sooner fans that have been cheering, ironically enough, all night long for Texas. And those cheers aren't going to matter in 2 more minutes.
No, now the Sooner fans will be cheering for the folks at the BCS, hoping that they still get one of the at-large bids to a bowl game.
Klein will keep it. Klein will score. Touchdown. Well, that's the way you cap off your senior night and your unbelievable career here in Manhattan. You never know, he might get one. Hasn't hurt his chances tonight, let's put it that way. 2 on the ground and 1 in the air. Cantelli's extra point is good. And now the score looks much worse than what this game was, because until he hooked up with Lockett to open the 4th quarter on that 55-yarder, this one was very much in doubt.
Well, watch the block out here by Harper. He's going to have a lead blocker, but Colin Klein walks in because of Harper's block on the perimeter. I mean, he just buries his guy back to the goal line, and Colin Klein walks into the end zone. And it's a worn-out Texas defense at this point. Played much better than we saw them earlier. And really, for the month of November and this first day of December, it's a much better defense, but they're worn out at this point.
If you just joining us, it was 21-17 at the end of the third quarter. As you look at the score, you know that the Wildcats have owned the past 13 minutes, including that 55-yard touchdown right at the beginning of the fourth quarter. That led the landslide for Kansas State. And the celebration is just a couple of minutes away now. Monroe from the 6. DJ Monroe with a little avenue, and DJ Monroe down the sideline. Going to be knocked out of bounds, but not till he gets to the 23-yard line. So Texas gets it back in Kansas State territory. We get it back to Robert Flores. Thanks, Robert. All they need is the dip. The chips have already been thrown out on the field. For the second time ever, Kansas State going to a BCS Bowl. In a minute and 41 seconds, they can start to make their plans. Case McCoy over the middle, one-handed grab. Nice grab by Malcolm Brown. Texas lines up in a hurry on second down. McCoy with quick slants, got it inside the 10. Mike Davis. It'll be first and goal Texas, but it's only going to make the score look better even if they do score. That one knocked down by Arthur Brown. He's had another sensational game at middle linebacker for Kansas State. He's their leader back there. 9 tackles on the night and a knockdown pass that was heading to the end zone.
Now this is just such a mature football team. 27 seniors, 9 senior starters on defense, not as many on offense, but really veteran leader type guys on both sides of the ball. Klein and Brown, the two that stand out the most.
This row completes. Brown's got it in. Touchdown Texas. Nice second effort by Malcolm Brown. And as I said, the score will only look a little bit better now with 58 seconds left.
Well, really outside of 2 passes, Case McCoy has been right on the mark all night. And a nice job of running after the catch by Malcolm Brown. And good to see him back after missing 5 games with the leg injury. He's had a pretty fair night tonight.
There you saw Case over 300 yards. But those 2 miscues, very costly, as they always are. And it's 42-24. And we'll have an onside kick coming up, I'm sure. So Bill Snyder, you know, what can you say? Most guys don't get the opportunity even to be a head coach. And when you get one, you very seldom can resurrect a program from, I'm talking about really dead,
right
here at Kansas State. And you almost never get the opportunity to resurrect the same program twice. He's done it twice, and congratulations to him.
Absolutely, and it's remarkable what he's done. I mean, because Kansas State, I mean, they were always one of those teams that, you know, was kind of in the bottom 10, you know, never won anything.
Team.
Yeah, and when he got a hold of them, I mean, he transformed them, he changed the culture, he changed the attitude, and I mean, they are legit now.
They are, and they're going to be heading to the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl. And what a way to bounce back from getting their first loss a couple of weeks ago. Todd and Holly and I were there, and it was shocking how Baylor, who had not played defense very well all season long, not only played well on defense, but did what they did most of the season, and that's light up the scoreboard on offense. And that was a 52-24 beatdown a couple of weeks ago. And Kansas State, as Todd said earlier, looked a lot fresher. They didn't look groggy or heavy-legged tonight, and back home on their home turf at Bill Snyder Family Stadium, the stadium named after the guy that's still the head coach. Tonight they looked like the number 16, if not better, in the country. Onside kick coming up here from Nick Rose. And
Now,
got a timeout.
And a lot of talk now about the Heisman. The votes are due on Monday. Johnny Manziel, Colin Klein, Manti Te'o, most people think those are the top three. And when you compare these two, even though Johnny Manziel broke the SEC all-purpose yardage record that Cam Newton set, when you look at the difference of these two against BCS AQ teams with winning records, not only did Colin Klein play against more, but he actually was much more successful. The two losses for Manziel to Florida and LSU. And Colin Klein, even though he struggled 2 weeks ago at Baylor, he was back to his old self tonight. I mean, he took control of the game in the second half, running the football. Beautiful throw to Lockett for the touchdown. A little bit of mix of run and pass, but more heavy run. And the rugged, tough leadership that Colin Klein has shown his entire career as a starter really came through tonight in the second half.
He's going to be 22-5 as a starter as the kick comes back to the near side, and it's taken easily on the hop. Kansas State's got the ball. Dante Barnett handles that one, and we're down to less than a minute to go.
Well, Coach Snyder took the headset off, so I think he is pretty confident this one's done.
And again, in the backfield, Ben Call on the carry.
I would imagine it's victory formation now. Headsets off.
And he and Mac Brown are good friends. Mac says, I text him pretty often. They're getting the Gatorade ready, which Bill will try to run away from if he gets a chance. And Mac didn't want to lose this one, but if he was going to lose one, I think as much respect as he has for Bill Snyder. Two guys have been around a long time. Bill in his 20th year, this could be his 169th win. And Mac's team's going to drop to 8-4. And here comes the purple aid. The Wildcat juice. Congratulations to Kansas State. They're going to the BCS. And they are 11-1. And there's two good friends at midfield. Tostitos Fiesta Bowl lies ahead for the Wildcats. And Holly's with the head coach.
Well, Coach Snyder, your team was struggling at halftime, and they came out that opening possession. What really changed with your offense?
Oh, we played better. And we ran some of those plays you designed for me when we went back in the locker room.
You did go to the edge more.
You what?
You ran to the edge more, didn't you, Coach?
Well, that's what you told me to do.
How do you describe Colin Klein tonight? He really took a lot on his shoulders in the second half.
He always does. Yeah, he does a lot more than people really see. He's a special guy.
This is a special group, 27 seniors. How critical is it for them to end their career with a championship, Coach?
Well, their career's not over. They've got another game left to play, but it's a nice win. It's a nice win for them.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, Holly.
That other game's going to be out in Arizona. Congratulations, Coach Snyder and the Kansas State Wildcats. They win it at home. They're 11-1. They take care of business, 42-24.